afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dropping the Gloves. Thanks for joining us here today. It's funny. I do charity events, and you think you get a handle on who's going to be there. And it's the same old every time. Usually the skill guys are boring as get out, and the tough guys are fun, and good personalities. And then you run into some guys who are just like, what happened to you? How are you this person? And I remember the first time I met Andre Waugh, our guest today. We were somewhere in Canada. I don't know where, but it was a charity event, Heart and Stroke or something. And he gets up and this was pre-COVID. So the sensitivity with Russia wasn't there. And he grabs the mic and he goes, and mind you, I've never met this guy before. I've never talked to him. And he goes, I'd like to, sing the national anthem before we get going. I'm like, well, that's nice. Here we go. This guy's going to sing the national anthem. It's going to be great. And mind you, there's 300 people in the room. And he belts out the rendition of what I thought was a traditional Russian national anthem. And he doesn't stop. Like, he's straight dead face. Andre Waugh, how do you know the Russian national anthem? And thanks for joining the show, man.
Hey, Johnny, it's a pleasure to be here today. Yeah, it's that's something I did. I don't know how it came. I've had people before telling me, how do you know the lyrics? Obviously, I don't know the lyrics. I just go with what I think it is, the lyrics, from playing with Russians, how they talk, like,
oh, yeah.
And no disrespect, but that's what I hear all the time when I was playing with these Russians, and I just knew how the team went from watching all the Rocky episodes, like Rocky 4 with Ivan Drago. Yep. So I just went on and made some words, and people were like, man, this is awesome. Where did you learn how to sing there? I was like, no, those are not the real lyrics, but I know how it goes, kind of, because like I said, from watching all the Rockies. So I just had fun with it. People were like, this is awesome. And I think that time when we first met, it might have been at the Mike Keane. Have you ever been to the Mike Keane in Winnipeg? Maybe it was there.
Might have been, yeah. But the reception you get is so incredible. People love it. Oh, yeah. And you come away just like, holy hell, what just happened? And I didn't know who you were. Obviously, I knew who you were, but I'd never met you. And sometimes when you meet people, they live up to expectations. I thought you were, just give me another tough guy like myself. Good personality, go to the bar, have a couple beers. But I was blown away by how personable you were. Have you always been this way? Because when I threw it out on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, and in my Slack channel, people were like, oh, he's the best ever. And I went back and watched your interviews, and you're the best, man. Have you, growing up, were you always like this, just this personable, outgoing guy?
Yeah, I guess, first in school, I was always kind of the clown in the class, so got kicked out, obviously. The teacher's always like, oh, no, okay, not today, Andre. You could leave the classroom, whatever. But, I just like to have fun. And I think in hockey, coming minor hockey in junior, I don't know, I just found it long on the bus rides, in junior, and then the minors and the NHL, same thing. Just, I just like that, to have the guys laughing, change the mood. You know how it is always so long. Like, it's fun to see the boys every day at the rink. But, Johnny, like, it's the same routine, like with the videos, the practices. And sometimes when you're in a losing stretch, it's miserable. Everybody has the long face. So I always try to come in and bring that kind of fun, like change the mood. And guys appreciated that. And I love people. I love engaging with people. Like even today, I'll go to wherever, Costco, whatever, people, hey, Andre. So I always take the time to talk with people, take pictures, and I'm sure you're the same, sign autographs, whatever, and I never forgot where I came from, because as a kid, I always idolized People, I remember seeing Patrick Waugh coming at a bank by my place and going there waiting in line, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Patrick Waugh!"
Oh, no kidding.
He was a young goalie for the Habs. So I'm kind of when I became a pro NHL, I was the same. You got to remember where you come from, and I always took the time to talk to people. It's not hard for me. I just love
Yeah.
people, and that's how I am. So when I do these events, obviously, I know why we're there. I get it. I think people, they raise money, they want to hear stories, they want to have a beer with you, which, when I have a couple beers, I'm more loosened up, so I get a little more
Oh,
more
it's a
fun with
blast.
stories and the national anthem, like you said. But whatever, I'm up to. I just want to entertain and have a good time, and I think people appreciate that. So
Oh man, there's nothing better. Even the flight, I was lucky enough to fly in with you. That was the highlight for me, seeing you. There's Nealer, Chris Neal, Mark
yeah,
Giordano. Like it's just like it's so incredibly fun. You mentioned growing up. How are you from Port Chester, New York, but you have the French accent? You play into the
yeah.
Q. How does that work?
So my dad followed his dad. He was a contractor, his dad. So
Mm-hmm.
my dad, same thing, worked in construction. Went to New York with his dad because I guess there was a lot of work back then.
Okay.
Met my mom there. I was born in New York, like my two brothers. I grew up with two older brothers. So we're all born in New York, and my dad brought back my mom in Montreal, Quebec, when I was 10 months old. So
Oh, no kidding.
basically, we came back. Yeah, so I got dual citizenship. So I moved back from New York to Quebec, grew up, went to French school there. Obviously, my mom spoke English to us at home. So yeah, that's how it happened basically. But I grew up in a French neighborhood. So at first, well, I was really young, but my older brother was like 4 or 5 years old. For him, it was really tougher, obviously. But that's how yeah, the thing. So just hanging out with French kids, going to French school and all that. That's how, like I guess, learned the French language, but still understood the English language because of my mom better, but just to
Yeah.
speak it took me a while. So
Well,
that's
and you're
where I
still
have a
working at
little.
it. Like you're
Yeah,
still not
exactly.
very good at it.
No, exactly. Yeah. No, because still here, I do TV. It's all French. Whatever. I'm in a French neighborhood. Obviously, Montreal, there's more and more people. I'd say it's half and half. Most of the people speak English too. So but where I'm from and doing events, TV, radio, I have a podcast, everything's in French. So
Yeah.
I don't speak English as much as, like when I was playing, let's say in Tampa or Ottawa, wherever, it was all English, obviously, and these charity events. But yeah, I still try to work on it. So
Oh,
sometimes I look for my words, but no, I'm still good. I understand it pretty well.
my first NHL team was the Minnesota Wild. It had Jacques Lemaire, Mario Tremblay as the
Yeah.
coach. It had Pierre-Marc Bouchard, Eric Belanger, three or four other French guys. So the locker room was just flooded. That's all they
Yeah.
talked. It was Finnish and French, and there's a
So
couple
you
English
heard a
guys.
lot of tabernacle,
Oh, Colis!
yeah, all
Yeah,
the time.
that stuff. And I didn't know what the heck they were saying. And then between periods, they would all smoke darts and cigars in the locker room, in the coach's room, and come out and tell us what we were doing wrong. And then, yeah, back to the coach's room and smoke another half a pack and then start the period. It was bizarre. I'm like, these French guys are a different breed because I didn't see any in college or anything, but this is you. And they were all super personal and great guys.
Tremblay, Mario, I think smokes cigarettes and
Oh, yeah.
likes his beers and
Oh,
rum and
but then he jumps on the treadmill at 5 a.m. and runs like
yeah,
10 miles every single morning. I'm like, holy Mario, how do you do it? But yeah,
I know.
he likes
That-
his darts. Anyways, growing up, so you're in the queue, you win the Mem Cup with the Chicoutimi. I'm not even going to try. Saguenines?
yeah, Saguenay in French, Saguenay, and yeah.
And
So
you're a monster. Are you 6'4", 220, going in there as like
uh,
a 16-year-old?
no way, no way. I came in. I played actually. I didn't play midget triple A, so I
Mm,
didn't get to a Bantam double A. Actually, I got cut the second year. I played Bantam double B back then. So when you don't play double A, you don't get the invite to triple A. So I was playing double B,
Yep.
right under the double A, anyways, and I was dominating. I won't get into that. No, but it's true. I was a good player. Like
Listen
as a
to you.
youngster, big kid, big clapper. I was number one scorer in the league, not on my team, in the league. That's how good I was, but I couldn't make the double A. But you know, politics and that,
Oh, of
like the
course.
son of this guy, la la la, all jealous. The other guy has money, took his son, give him
Yep.
tickets to the Montreal. Anyways, I won't get into that, but that's how it was. I got cut because my dad's a contractor, doesn't make any money, so I'm not cool enough, I guess.
Okay. Still
But
not
no,
bitter at
but
all, Andre. Not bitter at
but
all.
anyways, yeah, no, exactly. But anyways, I go and play midget double A, and 2 years in a row, and I finally got drafted in the queue out of midget double A, which I was 17 years old. So my first year in the queue, I just turned 18 years
Oh,
old.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I basically played 2 years in the queue. That's it. So yeah, I'm a real story. They should have a documentary on me and on Netflix or Crave whatever about my
But it's
life.
not
It's
like you
unreal.
dipped your toe in though. You went in your first year, you had
Oh yeah,
270 pims, and
yeah, yeah,
you win the Mem Cup your first year. So how was
yeah.
that?
No, exactly. So I come to camp. I'm like, let's say I'm 6'2", 180, but I'm a feisty little guy. Like I could throw like that, 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 you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I fought this kid in high school. I didn't want to fight. I was scared shitless. Sorry about my language, but this kid was like a bully and picking on everybody, anyways. And he ended up coming after me, and that was my real first fist fight. And I demolished this kid. I don't
In the
know,
hallway or outside?
in the hallway in the auditorium of the high school, everybody around me. And from then on, like he was like supposedly a golden glove boxer, came to school, stocky kid, like. And I remember I was petrified, like he was, because I said leave my friends alone. He came at me, all right, come on, big guy. And it was, long story short, I demolished this guy. Everybody's my friends after. I'm almost a hero, like in that movie,
Rudy.
Rudy. Rudy. Anyways, so the next year I get drafted that summer out of midget double A, again dominating midget double A. I go to camp, and this kid that played from my hometown's like, Andre, guys are gonna try you for sure. You're tall. They're gonna come after you. If you back up, you'll get cut for sure, because you're tall. If you back us, so it stood in
Yeah.
my mind. Here I am, training camp. Patrick Cote, who played in Dallas, Nashville. I don't know if you guys, the
I
older
know the
people,
name. Yep.
probably. He was a tough guy. Like he
Yeah.
fought pro, he twist anyone. He didn't care. He was my first fight. This kid, Cote, played junior triple A, so he had a little bit of experience. And I remember just swinging for the fence, going on my knees, up and down. Just, it was okay. He caught me a couple times. Then second fight, I grabbed another kid that, never really fought, kind of beat him up. Then it went on, second guy. And then I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So anyways, I got traded that year to Chicoutimi, Saguenay.
Yeah.
We won the President Cup, went to the Memorial Cup. And that year I had a great Memorial Cup, got drafted to the Boston Bruins. So I went down so quick from midget double A to the Q, made the team, traded,
That's
Memorial Cup,
crazy.
NHL, yeah. So here I am a year and a half later, and I'm at training camp in Boston with Ray Borkamp, nearly Don Sweeney. It was unreal how it went so quick. So, but I was a tall, skinny guy, but I grew up with two older brothers. Yeah, we fought a lot young, like every brother does. But I was just this kid that, adrenaline, just like
Yeah.
feisty and threw quick. That's how it was, Junior. You just threw, boom, 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 toe to toe. But then when I came in pro, I remember when I was 20, they signed me my 3-year deal. I'm playing in Providence, Rhode Island, in the AHL, and I was trying to just go like toe to toe. And the more experienced guys would just grab me, grab
Yeah.
my arms and just, settle in, then start throwing. I was like, okay, I gotta change my style, adapt, which I did, But yeah, so that's how it went. And within 2 years, it went so quick from midget double A to playing the AHL. So it was pretty. And then I was like, okay, my foot's in the door. The rest won't be easy. But I gotta say, I played my first NHL game. I got called up that year. I
Yeah.
was 20 years old. They called me up against the Buffalo Sabres. So obviously, Rob Ray, the big head, and Brad May
Razor. Yeah.
and and Barnaby trash talk. They were tough. They have I think Bob Bugner was there also, but I was more worried about Brad May and Rob Ray, obviously, and I was like this. I was maybe 193 pounds back, 195, yeah, in Providence, I'd say 195, close to 200, but skinny guy. And I was like, man, if I have to, I will go and I'll fight them. But I wasn't the guy who was going to go and initiate, and I was. I gotta say, I wasn't ready mentally, I guess, to be there with these guys.
Yeah.
They were like guys I watched on TV. I remember the Domi Proberts and Rob Rain. So here I am called up. I'm well. First of all, I couldn't sleep that night and that afternoon that I got called up. I was so nervous, like. And I think I played 4 shifts that game. I was playing with Jeff Odgers and Trent McClary. But it
Crazy.
was just a crazy experience. I remember, I just played a couple shifts and
Well, that's a
nothing
good team
happened.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It was,
you're talking Ray Bork, Adam Oates, Cam Neely was there. Like
yeah,
it's a good team when you're getting your first game. They made the playoffs that year, so they didn't really have a lot of toughness. So did you see the door open with Boston and you felt like you have to? Because when I went to Minnesota, they had Boogie, they had Simon, they had
yeah,
Fedoruk, they had a tough team. So I'm sitting there like, where do I fit in this organization? And you're in Providence, you're throwing, like you're playing well. You're getting
yeah,
points, you're getting playing time. Did you see that? Okay, the Bruins, they got a couple of guys, Steve Leach maybe who can throw. They got a couple other big guys, Dean Chenoweth.
yeah.
Did you see the
Yeah,
opening there for you, or just you were just doe-eyed, like just holy crap, I'm in the NHL?
yeah. More. Holy crap! I'm in the
Yeah.
NHL. I'm showering with Ray Bork and. No, but like
Oh
I
yeah.
remember because they were idols for me. Even Cam
Mm-hmm.
Neely, I know he was hurt at that time trying to come back, but I was in that locker room and I was like,
Crazy.
and I remember sitting in the stall, and my personality, not a word. I'm just sitting there, this
Yeah.
rookie taping my sticks and almost sucking on my thumb, like mama. But I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Like like I said, mentally, I was like, I don't belong here. But I was there and I was like, I don't know. It's just like I was so impressed
Yeah.
just by being in the NHL. I couldn't believe it that I was in the NHL called up. I wasn't ready mentally. I always say that 2021, 21, 22, I was like, okay, I think I can make the team. But then I had a bad year. But anyways, but yeah, you're right. Like I was like, I think they wanted to see what I had in me. Maybe if I would have went after Ray May, like all these young kids, they
Yeah.
get called up. But I just said I went about my business. I'm gonna try to finish my hits, be physical, but I didn't want to initiate. I don't know. Like I said, I think I wasn't ready at that time. And so I just went and I played 3 games. They sent me back down, which I was like almost like, oh yeah, I don't belong here. I should be going back down.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I wish I would have been more like when I was 24 when I made the team in Ottawa, because Big Bad Bruins, it was a perfect fit for me for my style of play.
Right. Yeah.
They like physical players. Just I didn't. I don't think I brought that enough, to maybe get a shot to stay there anyway. So
Well,
yeah,
and I felt the same way where I didn't embrace the role as a tough guy like early. I'm like I can play. I'm going to play defense. I want to be a
yeah,
contributor. I'm not going to go out there and fight and play 2 minutes. And it took me, Andre, probably 3 or 4 years to be like, you know what,
exactly.
this is who I am. I'm going to go and
Mhm.
fight. And you were a better player than I was, surprisingly, because I was really good. But you, obviously, I heard in midget double B, you were like a phenom. You were just scoring like crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, but it's true. Like, talk to everybody. No, but minor hockey, we're all good. We're
Mhm.
all like everyone you go around. We were all these good players scoring goals. But in the queue, yeah, I finished with 33 goals at 19. I had 323 pins, so I mix it up a lot of 10 minutes and jumping goalies,
yeah,
jumping
but
and
still
on.
32 goals in
Yeah, yeah,
54 games.
33, not 2, 33, sorry.
Sorry, 33. 33.
But
Everyone
then in
counts.
the minors, in Providence, I had 17 one year in the IHL because I played 1 year after Boston released me. 1 year in the I scored 15 with 395 PIMs. So I could score, and I wanted to play. I wish I could have been like third line role, like able to play, but I soon realized like if I wanted to play, I'm going to be this fourth line guy. They want me to hit, fight, and be this energy guy, like who's going to play 5 to 7, 8 minutes a night, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of understood my role after 3, 4 years in the minors. But like I wish I would have had like a Brian McGrattan or a Derek Bugard or
Yeah.
a Donald Brashear on the four line and let Side be on the third line. But anyways, so I accepted that role. And I could play, but I knew like whenever we needed momentum change or somebody ran our goalie or skill player. Like I remember St. Louis would get run by Brashear. I didn't want to, but I was like, Brash, we got to go. You can't touch Smarty St. Louis or, Le Cavalier or whatever, and Daniel Alfredson in Ottawa, Domi. Like, I remember he was hitting Martin Havlat. So I was like, fuck, I didn't want to fight. Whoops, sorry. I don't want to fight Ty Domi, but I was like, Ty, let's go. I'll fight you, So I was like, this is going to be my role if I want to stick in the NHL. So, but you're right. Like me too. It took me 2, 3, 4 years. And I was like, all right, this is what I got to do to stay in this league, So
yeah, and I was just looking because with tough guys, you're pretty much just at the mercy of the team you're with. I started in Minnesota, we weren't really great. I went to Buffalo, weren't really great. Chicago, we had some success. I'm looking at the teams you're playing for, Andre. Like they're really good teams, and you have coaches that kind of get what it means to be a tough guy. Some are better than others, but you get Martin in Ottawa, then you're showing up with a team with Hossa Yashin, Char Alfredson, like these guys, Redden, Fisher, Phil. Like it's a great team, and you're playing good minutes. What was that like? Because that's your first real team, really, that you were given a chance. Did it feel good? Because you're playing almost 82 games. You're getting a regular shift. You're contributing. You're going to the playoffs. I never had that feeling. I came into the show, and I just was, boom, immediately like 10 minutes tops. Fight, that's it. So you're getting good. Well, talk about that for a guy who went from Providence to Charlotte to Fort Wayne. You're playing in the I, then all of a sudden the next year you're playing for the Ottawa Senators. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I felt going to Ottawa, I felt like when I went to training camp in the Q, I knew this was now or never, basically, So because I was in the minors for 4 years, now I'm 24 years old, and I have an opportunity because I knew Ottawa wasn't that physical. They lost. They were the first 1 seed, lost to Buffalo that year before in 4 games. So Buffalo was the 8th seed, and Ottawa was first. They lost in 4 games, and all I heard was like, man, the lack of physicality. They need more toughness. And I just finished in Fort Wayne with my almost 400 PIMs.
Yeah.
15 goals. I had Gerard Gallant, Grand Saunier. They were great to me and made me understand, you still have an opportunity. You're not done. So, and here I am. Rick Dudley is scouting our team every game after Christmas. He likes the way I play. And then I signed with the Ottawa Senators a month from the end of the year. So I'm like, all right, man, now I'm part of the organization with the Ottawa Senators. That summer, I had a phone call from Marshall Johnson, our GM. He said, Andre, we'd like to send you to a power skating to improve your skating ability in North Dakota. Obviously, I wanted to party, golf with my buddies, but I was like, I can't say no to that. And I always tell people that's the best move I could have done for myself to make the NHL, because I came back and I was so in shape because it was Monday to Saturday, basically pretty much 6 hours a day on the ice, off ice training,
for how long?
Plyometrics, you name it, for 3 weeks. So Monday to Saturday, it was unreal because now I was skating, I was engaged, I was fast, so I remember camp was like maybe 2-3 weeks after. So I came back, kept skating and working.
But I want to pause you there. Sorry, Andre. Let me cut you off. Even mentally, the team investing in you, saying, "Hey, We
Yeah.
like you. We want you to go here and get better. That's got to feel good because as a guy like you, to have a team saying, you know what, we want you here. We're going to spend all this money for you to go to power skating. We're going to invest in you. That's got to feel right mentally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I've never had like nothing against Boston, but back then they could have flew me in a 20-year-old, 19, 20-year-old, like summertime, had me work out with their guys on the ice, but they just send a program by mail, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go golf and party,
Right?
Like
Yeah.
I would, I wish they would have. I know nowadays they're more focused on all their prospects. They bring them in and they do all
Oh, there's
the
everything. Yeah.
training and
Off ice
the
junk. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Even the eating ability, all the stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
anyways, but you're right. Yeah, back to Ottawa. It was a great feeling. So coming to camp, I knew, hearing all that stuff, like, okay, they need more physicality. I'm running everybody, or I'm gonna run around, fight whoever I need to. And I remember we're playing the black and white games, and I'm running around, but I think people are like, "Who is this guy? 400 pins in the eye." Nobody was really coming after me. A little bit of pushing, shoving, but and I think Jacques Martin was like, "Okay, you're gonna have your opportunities. You're gonna play some preseason games. Just don't try to hurt
Yeah.
our skilled players." Because I was running right in Alfredson. I didn't give a crap. I wanted to make an impression, and so as camp went on, we played. I remember Calgary. I fought Nazarov. I fought Kale Holtz. Then the other game, I fought against Jersey. Maybe Jason, whoever was coming. I think maybe Ty Domi. Anyways, so I had a couple scraps, and as the camp went on, at the end there was like maybe two guys left. I started the season. I was still at the hotel with another guy named John Emmons. Anyways, and after I think 4 games in the season, 3 games, Jacques Martin brought me in, said, "Hey, you can find yourself a place. You can
Oh,
spend the year with us." So that was the best moment. That's why I appreciate Jacques Martin for everything. He gave me an opportunity. He was great to me. Then Jacques was never the guy to put me out there, and I didn't have guys to say, "Go fight this guy," because I
yeah.
kind of knew my role. But Jacques was the guy that you don't need to fight Andre all the time. Practice, just get involved, finish your hits, and sometimes he would put me on the top lines with a
Gosh, that's awesome.
Marianosa and Avla, just to, maybe when things weren't working out. So
Yeah.
Jacques was great with me, and I always say that. Like I appreciated him giving me an opportunity and just being for everything I brought in. Even a story I remember in Jersey. I was playing on a line with Kevin Deneen, veteran, great guy, and
Mm-hmm.
Sean Van Allen, and we're in Jersey. Jersey was so tough. They had like Christophe Oliwa, Randy McKay, Sorey, Lilo Deline. They had a couple guys like that, and I remember I fought Oliwa first period. It went okay. He was chasing me around, and I fought him. Like he hit me a couple good ones. Anyways, second period line 5-on-5 line brawl, and I'm pulling on this guy in the pile there in front by the boards there, and then I have another guy pulling me from behind, and I kind of got punched sideways. So I turn around, and I start throwing, and it was Scott Niedermeyer, but I didn't know. Like I was already engaged, so I split him. I split him open. So obviously he was cut on the eye there after the fight. Like I didn't really went hard, but I threw a couple punch. He went down. He was cut. So I got like a 5, a 10, whatever. I'm out like for a long time. Here I am in the third period. There's I think 5, 7 minutes left in the game. Jacques put me out on the ice, so they put all their tough guys. So the Sorio, the line,
It's
Olewa,
like
the puck
payback.
dropped. The play is going on, and they're all in front of me. Let's go, let's go. Only I'll fucking kill you. I'll kill you. So here I am. So the line threw a punch, like kind of because he was on my left side. I had only one in front of me, Sorry on my right. So I was kind of looking at all three of them. And then Odie threw a punch at me. So I dropped my gloves with Odie. Here I am. But third fight, I'm kind of a little tired, So I could see him trying to get out of his sleeves, and I'm
Uh-huh.
holding him out with my left hand, and as he's trying to get out of his sleeve to get a free hand to throw punches. I gave him like a karate fucking slip foot
Hip
on the
toss.
ice and ended with a GSP elbow to the jaw. Like, man, I was like, just, and then they were all so pissed off. I'm coming off the ice like the Hanson brother. Oh my God, fans are chirping me, throwing beers at me, anyways, in the old arena in Jersey, anyways, where the Zamboni was. But the next week we're playing Jersey, and that's
Oh
when
no.
Jacques brought me in. Andre, you don't need to fight all these guys. It's like going to war. We have pistols, they have bazookas. We're not that type of team. I was like, all right. So Holy was chasing me that first shift, and I gave him a Matthew Barnaby. All right, let's go. And then he dropped the mitts, and I didn't. We got a PP. We scored anyway. Jacques loved it, anyways. Oliwa didn't, but just it tells you like how Jacques, he didn't. It wasn't all about fighting, which other
Yeah.
coaches sometimes they just put you out there to go fight. So yeah. Anyway, so
Well, it's just it's amazing that more coaches don't get the role that you play, because I've played with coaches like Jacques who get it. Like it doesn't take
yeah,
much to just make us happy. Come over during pregame skate, come over during a practice after a game, be like, hey, nice job. Like, or just say something like, hey, we're
yeah,
going to need you to stay with us. Cause I was a healthy scratch. I was in and out of
absolutely.
lineup. Just
Oh my God.
those little moments that mean so much. And then you get around another coach who doesn't get it. They haven't played that role. They don't know what it's like. And then you
Yeah,
feel like you're not part of the team sometimes. It's like, come on, man, like throw me a bone. Like I get we're on a winning streak and I'm not going to play. We're playing Detroit, no tough guys or this and that. But it does mean the world when a coach just does those little things. Like, oh, go play with Patrick Kane and Sharp for a couple, like half a period. I'm like, shit, yeah, okay, that's great, thank
exactly.
you. Like, and then it goes that's all it takes. So it's cool that you got that your first year. And then one thing I wanted to ask, you got a young Zdeno Chara. He's coming in, 24 years old, obviously with the Islanders, but still trying to find his footing in the league. What was that like to see this big giraffe coming into Ottawa? Because you're the tough guy on the team, right? This is your team, and then this monster comes into the locker
Yeah,
room, and you're probably like, oh, okay, like whoa, how was this dynamic play out?
yeah. But right before I get into that, Johnny, you couldn't have said it better. Like about tough guys, how it's important to get a little tap in the back sometimes because it's a role, it's a tough role. And I always appreciate guys who were like, good job, Andre, good job, Johnny.
Yeah.
You know how it was. And when the coaches gives you a little tap or puts you on the
Oh,
top line, we appreciate that. You're so right because we don't feel part of the team so many times, healthy scratch and that. You're so right about that, and you couldn't have explained
well,
it
then you
better.
go through
That's
the
how.
wall for the guy because he gives you that little
Yeah.
tap, and it's like, oh, I will die for
Oh my
you. Like
God.
I will go through the
Yeah,
wall. I will bash
absolutely.
my face in for you. And it's even like
Oh
the
yeah.
skill guys. Like I'll never forget like Johnny Taves giving me a tap on the shins, like, hey, nice one. We needed that, And it's like, yeah, okay, sweet. Like I'm a part of this. Let's go. Like I'll do whatever it takes, fellas. So it is cool. All right, Zdeno Chara, tell me about this mutant because I asked
Mutant
him
were
to fight a
always
couple
pretty good.
times and he always said no.
Seriously. Yeah. Big Z. First, I don't think he liked fighting. He didn't
No,
like fighting. He's a big, strong, tough guy. But here I am. We traded Yashin for the contract issue that he wanted more money, whatever. So we got rid of him and got Big Z coming in Ottawa. And at that same time, Chris Neal was a
that's
rookie
right.
making the team. So it was me, Chris Neal, and Big Z. And back then, there was a little more fighting. So I kind of enjoyed that. And Nealer coming in wanted to make a name for himself. So he was running around, then back up. He could fight. So I think Z saw me and Nealer being like the guys that'll take care of the business, which we did. And Z was there like to kind of back us up if we needed to. And
Yeah.
but I remember some games we'd play whatever Sandy McCarthy, and they had a couple guys, and like Z would before the game, hey, make sure these guys are honest. They don't run around that. We're like looking at ourselves. Yeah, yeah, but you're there too, Z. Yeah, yeah, I'm there, but just make sure, we're like, yeah, yeah, we'll take care of business, but we need you too if we need to. Like Z was like, yeah, yeah, but that's why I'm telling you. Sometimes I think some big tough guys would ask him, but Z wanted to play a little more, and he became this player more important. Like you saw the minutes when he went to Boston, became a captain, played more and more minutes. I think he wanted to play more, but
Yeah.
once in a while he would fight guys just to set the tone, or just to give a little boost to the team. But again,
Well, that
it was
Ontario
always the tough
rivalry.
guy. Yeah, yeah,
Like I'm looking at Toronto's roster that year. They got Belak, Domi, Corson, Tucker. Like, was it just like, let's go when we go into Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens Hockey Night in Canada? Because that's a pretty tough lineup they can throw out there. And you got you and Nealer. Talk about that, because that's the
and
heyday of fighting there.
yeah, and I was part of the early 2000 matchups with the Leafs playoffs matchup, where we lost every year in the first round, and we were the number one seed. Like you mentioned that,
Yeah,
what a great team! Regular season, the Bonks, Hossa, Yashin before left, but after we still had Alfie, Avlad, we had some good skilled players,
yeah,
and Redden on D, and we always were so great in regular season. But then once playoff comes, it's a different game. It's more the refs, they put their whistles away. It's more physical, uh, guys sticking players, and I don't know. The trash talk was a big part of it. Anyways, we lost every year to the Leafs, and you're right. Like we Nealer came that year. I got traded, but the year before, anyways, they had the Domi, the Wendell Clark, McCabe and Tucker and Corson. You're right, all those guys. So it was always
Belak.
tough. We had that, yeah, Wade Belak, that's right. And I fought Belak, I fought Domi, but I couldn't go after everyone. And I remember they were trying to get into under their skin the host. So they were young, Havlat, those guys, they just
Yeah,
disappear. Radek Bong, it seems like they were so much in their face and the trash talk and punching them after the whistle, and they would just disappear. So it was tough for me just to try to and I remember I was trying to fight everyone, run around, try to, and I did okay in the playoffs, but it was tough for me because they had so much of everything. They had like the physicality, and they had some skill when they turn it up. It was unreal. They were just running us over, and we had no response. It was, and that's why I think we lost maybe every first round to the
yeah.
Leafs. But it was tough. I would go in, and I was focused more on either Ty Domi or Wade Belak, but I still knew there was Wendell Clark,
Oh my
Corson, those
gosh.
guys to take care of. But anyways, you know how it is when they have so many tough guys. Anyways, but it was yeah, it wasn't easy.
That's crazy. And then you go from that team that has so much promise, all these first round draft picks, young but still super talented. You get traded to Tampa, who's just loaded with talent. You got St. Louis, Corey Stillman, who everybody forgets was an incredible
Yeah,
player, Richards, LeCavier. But you got some good vets and Dave Anderchuk. You got Freddie Boom Boom, Modine, Dan Boyle on the back end. Like you got Cabine. Like it's a loaded lineup. You enter this
yeah,
locker room, now you're in the league. Like you're the guy. You're one of the toughest guys
yeah,
in the league. They needed that aspect. Then you got obviously John Tortorella at the reins, who's a hard nose. I played for Torts with the Rangers. And then you're in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years later, the arguably the number one seed. What's that like? Because you're not even a passenger. Like I played for Torts. He never played me in the playoffs. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You didn't even give me a sniff, rightfully so. You're playing every game, Andre. Like you're
yeah.
there. What was that like going into that environment? And kind of, could you tell the difference between an Ottawa young team and a Tampa team who's still young, but holy hell, were they were so incredibly good.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, when I left Ottawa, I was a little disappointed and surprised. I was playing well, and they needed that. But Chris Neal came in and Big
Yeah.
Z. So, and Jacques was not always the biggest fan of just having all these tough guys, anyways. But they screwed up. They would have won the cup in Ottawa, but they got rid of me. So I went and turned that franchise around in Tampa. No, but they were they were skilled in Ottawa. But then I got traded. I got to say, I came to Tampa, and they were out of the playoffs. So that I was a little upset about that. So I was like, all right, we're no playoffs this year. But I could see the skill. Like you're right, the St. Louis wasn't still the name that he became. He wasn't the player that he became after. LeCavalier was a young guy, first overall pick, but we were out of the playoffs. But I can see the talent. Slowly, Jay Feaster
Yeah.
did a good job bringing all these little pieces. So Andrew Chuck just got there. Tim Taylor was another veteran there. And then they just got Boyle from Florida the year before I came there. So slowly, Ruslan Fedotenko and those guys. So slowly adding all these pieces. So we didn't miss the playoffs. And I remember, basically no fans in the stands. There wasn't much fans. We were out of the playoffs. But the following year, I don't know, something happened. We came to camp. We had a really good start. I think Tortorella, I don't know, you took part of his training camp. Torts is a guy that conditioning is a
Yeah.
huge
Oh
thing
yeah.
for him. So I think that's why his teams, well, anyways, we always had good starts, because we were ready to go. Like the camps were so hard. As soon the season started, boom, we would go on a little roll. Anyways, we started really well that year. We made the playoffs. We lost. We actually won the first round against Washington. Lost to Jersey in the second round, but we believe at that time we had a group to do something good. So now slowly, like you said, the Corey Stillman, Brad Richards that came in,
Yeah.
and Fedotenko and St. Louis Vinny. Anyway, so all these guys and then the following year, '04, yeah, that's when we won the cup. Man, what a run we went on. Habib Bullen was great on D. We had Boyle, Kubina, Sarich, Nolan Pratt, Colin Moore. Everybody knew their role. So and we acquired Daryl Sador, another good veteran from Dallas that year, or was he in LA? Anyways, so that was another good veteran move. So what a group we had there, And just like you said, I went on from not making the playoffs 2 years later, lifting the Stanley Cup. So what a transformation! We just had a group and believed we could win, and the confidence build on, and yeah, it was just a great run over there. So
It's
basically,
crazy to think that there was no fans in '01, '02 when you got there. Then all of a sudden, it might be the
yeah,
best Southern hockey market today
yeah,
in
yeah,
all the NHL.
absolutely,
Like that's talking all the California teams, Dallas, and especially Florida. But
yeah,
Tampa, when you go there, when I played there for my 10 years, it was always jam packed. Do you think? Did
yeah.
you? I don't. What was that like? Because it sucks playing for an empty barn, and then you're winning the cup 2 years later, and you can't walk around without being noticed, and it was just probably insane in Tampa.
Yeah. Same thing happened to Florida. Remember, they never
Yep,
won a cup. You would go there like 12,000, 14,000 fans, and then they win the cup. Now fans are all like, but I think that's what it was in Tampa. Like I got there, yeah, maybe 14, 15. It was kind of empty. Yeah, we're out of the playoffs. And I remember you're a healthy scratch. We could go sit in the stands with the wives and girlfriends, and nobody really would like recognize us or talk to us. It was
no,
a
no
that.
way.
Yeah, yeah. I remember guys like sitting. Well, I wouldn't go, but some guys would go in the stands, see their girlfriends, whatever. Like once in a while, not every game, but and
That's
people would
funny.
even come. Hey, can I have a picture? People kind of, but then it just yeah, we started winning, and then more and people got interest. Oh, the hockey team's doing well, and then I think that there's a lot of Canadian people too that lives in Florida that comes to games, but we did get a lot of people from Florida, local people that got more and more interested in hockey because obviously football, baseball,
Yeah,
basketball used to be the sport before hockey. Now I think the fact that the year we started winning and being we were number one in the Eastern Conference, we had more and more fans. It was more and more packed. And then as we went into the playoffs, we went first round, second round. Then they were talking about us on TV, radio, and more fans got interested in following the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then it just, yeah, I think the fact that we won the cup, the Stanley Cup, people like, oh man, hockey's great. The fighting, the hitting. That's what I got a lot. I love it in hockey. You guys, you get to fight and you hit. I like the fight. I got that a lot. People love it. Like I remember. I think that's why I I don't want to be all, but they love their tough guys.
oh
Like
yeah.
and I think I not I think I kind of became a fan favorite. People loved it when I went out there and dropped the mitts. They
Hell
were like,
yeah.
"We won!" Wow, thanks for that, fans. I love you guys down in Tampa, by the way. Uh, but it was unreal, Like you'd go out there, and I knew I needed to do something, or sometimes the fans just wanted something. I could feel it. I would just go out and try to get in a fight, anyways. But
Well, no, and
yeah, so,
the reason they love you, and I just watched a ton of your fights the last week. Once I knew you were going to come on, the passion that you showed, you can feel it. As a fan, probably sitting in the
yeah,
crowd, you see this guy who's just. I don't want to say losing his marbles, but you're engaged. Like you're
yeah,
going crazy on the ice, and I never could do that. I was a very just
yeah,
calm, let's fight, let's get this done with, and then we'll move on with the game. That's kind of I couldn't get super pissed, and when I did, it was look out. But you seem to be able to just flip a switch and like fully
yeah,
go full just berserk, wires crossed. And I think the
yeah,
fans see that and they love that because you're just a regular
yeah.
guy who's losing his cool. So you're like a cult hero in Tampa, Andre. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
you're right. Because when I first got there, like I said, from Ottawa, I think I was a little upset and pissed off. I did get suspended. I loved the penalty box. I tried to go in the penalty box after McCarty because I felt I was engaged with a player. And I remember he came in, started throwing. Anyways, I didn't have a good scrap with him, and it pissed me off. So I was like, I'm going to get you back, McCarty. He's like, let's go then. I was like, you ready? Let's go. Let's put on a show. I left the penalty box. He looked at me, what the hell are you doing? But the fans in Tampa were like, yeah, like a wrestler, WWE, like, and I was putting on a show, and the referee's trying to grab a hold of me, and I'm like, let me go. He falls down. Anyways, I got 13 games, which I wasn't proud of myself. But the fans, I could feel the energy. They loved it. Torts didn't like it as much. But anyways, I think there was a little of anger in me from the trade. I didn't like that. Like, I didn't see it coming. But after the season, I had a setback because that was towards the end of the year. And I was like, man, I'm going to love Tampa. I think this is a place perfect for me. But you're right. I got to say, like, when I came to the rink, I would get in this zone. And I would just, okay, now, because first of all, I wasn't the biggest guy. I did this role. I never considered myself a big heavy. I was, the heaviest I played was 223.
Oh
Like, I know
wow.
it said 234 I was never 230. I played at 215, 218, 222, 223. That was my range during my career.
Which
And
is
you remember,
small for that
yeah,
size. You're
and you
fighting like
remember, yeah.
Simon and Brashear and
Yeah.
Boogie and
And
Peros and
even
huge
yeah,
guys.
those guys were 240, 6'5", and I handled my stuff okay.
Yeah.
I always did pretty well with these guys, yeah. You win some, you lose one, but I felt like I always handled it pretty well for a guy my size. Anyways, I was a fight, but I would get in the zone, couple Sudis, Red Bull, and I would get in my zone, my element, and try to fire myself up. That's why I looked always like a little pissed off because I couldn't just go in like calm and like some guys. Like LaRock says he was like that. You say you were like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know about Boogie. Boogie looked mad, but I don't know. I just had to get in this zone to fight a little pissed off. So I think, yeah, you're right. The fans probably felt that energy,
Oh,
and sometimes I would give a show to them. They loved it, I would just,
well, and it was scary
but
as I played guys like you. I'm like, holy shit! Like, why that guy's like, so why is he so mad at me? Like, what did I do? I'm like, I don't want to fight
that,
you. You're like foaming at the mouth. I'm like, no,
yeah,
no, I'm
no,
okay. Like, no, thanks. Maybe
not at
next
that
time.
point. But yeah, I would just like get in this zone and okay, it's because you it's crazy. You don't want to get knocked out or that. Like
Oh yeah,
one punch can hurt
yeah.
you bad. You have to be ready, right? Like, but remember, I didn't play him, but Trevor Gillies with the
Oh
Fu
yeah,
Manchu, like I didn't play him, but like I looked at him and he was always, he
yeah.
looked like really pissed with the foam. Like he was maybe a level, a little, the only time maybe, yeah, I lost my marbles once or twice, whatever, couple times, but yeah, when I went out there, I'd go and I'd play with my teeth like biting in my mouthpiece, like.
No, you look scary. You
but
look scary with the
but
no
you had
shoulder
to.
pads, the no undershirt.
Yeah,
Like you were scary. You're a
you
scary
had
guy.
to. you had to, So, but anyways, it did cost me a lot of money. That's something I'm pissed about, But I
Nah,
get
it's
a lot
okay. You
of,
won a Stanley Cup.
yeah,
You got to play with all these guys. Let's talk because we before we came on, we were talking about torts, and I'd be remiss not to talk about this because we talk about good coaches who know how to handle tough guys and give them a little boost. Jacques Martin, great one. I had Joe Quenneville in Chicago. I had Teddy Nolan in Buffalo. Great coaches. But then you run across guys and torts. Everybody thinks he's no, not everybody thinks. Everybody knows he's a hard ass coach. He demands the most out of his players. He just is he's a really stubborn guy. And when I went to the Rangers, I got traded there. I'll never forget. I showed up in his office at the deadline. He goes, "Who the hell are you? Why are you here?" That's his first thing he says to me. Like, I just got traded here, bro. Like, what do you mean? Oh, I didn't know
yeah.
about that. I'm like, I just talked to Glenn Sather. He said,
Oh
I'm
my
here. I'm
God.
going to sign a 3-year deal, maybe. What's going on? So I play 8 games and he gasses me with the Black Aces. He gets me. He says, I don't want you skating with the team. I don't want you around the guys. And he's saying this in front of the whole team. Johnny, you're going to be with the Black Aces. And I right to his face, I'm like, what the F are you talking about? And he's like, let's go to my office. And me and him have an FU contest in his
Yeah.
office, screaming at each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
I'm like, listen, I've been in the league 8 years. You had a similar situation with him where he kind of did the same thing to you, but keep in mind, I was new to him. I'd only been there for like a month. You had won a Stanley Cup with him. You had been with him for 4 years. He knew who you were. And then you obviously had the incident in Philadelphia with Riley Cote. We're not going to, you've talked about that story to death.
Yeah.
He tells you, I don't want you around the team. You're a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You played every game up until that point.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about a coach who just doesn't value his players at all. Because you were an 8-year NHL veteran. You won a Stanley Cup for this guy. You've played endless amounts of injuries. You fought for him. And then for him to kind of just throw you away at the end of a season, it's like, come on, man. Like, seriously? That's what I mean to you? And that's,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just shitty to talk about because that's, you think he's this guy, you think he has your back, and all of a sudden it's like, no, see ya.
Yeah. That
Take care.
that's as I listen to you, it's crazy because it reminds me that's what I went through also.
Can't imagine.
He could make you feel like a piece of crap so much. Like I had good times with Torts, obviously, and some not so good times, but the 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 year of the cup, he was great. When you're winning, things are great, and we won the cup and that. But when things are a little tougher, you're right. He tries to. That's something I think. That's why Torts don't last as much because he's a hard nosed coach. I get that. That's part of his job. His job's not to make friends with players, but to get the best out of you. But it's the way he does it, the lack of respect. Sometimes you feel like we were talking about like the tap and the back and you're important and
Yeah.
after the Riley Cote, I wish he could have just grabbed me in the corner, say, Andre, I get what you're going through, your ego was touched, you're pissed off, but you're important, you'll come back. But no, instead he sent me home. They booked me a flight back to Tampa by myself while the team was on a road trip
No
with
kidding.
2 other games left. Yeah, so I basically went back on a commercial flight back to Tampa by myself the following day of that incident, which I know I went overboard. But instead of having a guy, Andre, you're important, you're with the team, skate, you're not going to play next game, but you know how it is. But you're right, and to say that in front of the team, like he did with you. And a lot of tough guys that played for him I've talked with have the same story.
Yeah.
It's like they send me home. I don't want you around the team. Okay, am I not part of the team? Have some respect. Have me skate, do some extra, but you're with the team and that. And he had that rule. Remember, no one in the locker room before a game. He didn't want
Yep.
to see us, so you would
Mm-hmm.
wait till the game starts to show up at the rink.
Sneak into the room and do your
Yeah,
workout and
exactly.
sneak
It's
out of the
almost
room.
okay. It's towards here. Am I gonna be in trouble? That
Yeah.
come on, we're a team. Like guys will go out and play the game. But you're right. I had some tough issues, and I felt like sometimes there was a lack of respect. I'm sure he didn't want to. It's not what he wanted to give as a message towards us, but still, you feel like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Some nights, and yes. So that's why I say, yeah, I won the cup. There was some good moments, but man, how it finished with Torts, like how like that last year, he basically didn't talk to me. I was skating by myself. I don't know what's going on, and I think it hurt me also for my career. I was on the point of signing a 2-year extension with the Lightning, which everything just like went
Gone.
down the drain after that incident. That's money that I lost because, I was just like at home, send me home. And that
Yeah.
wasn't the first time after Cote. Another time in the playoffs, I came in, Habby Bullen made a save. I remember we're playing the Washington Capitals that year that I said the year before we won and we went to the second round against the
Mm-hmm.
Devils. Habby makes a save. There's a player that comes in and kind of whacks him on the glove. I just pushed a player. It was Jeff Halpern. I push him. He goes down, dives. I get a roughing penalty. I look at the ref. Are you serious? So I go in the box. They score. I come off the
Out of the
penalty
box, yeah.
box. Torts is waiting for me, just destroys me. You selfish. Nah, 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 nah. You're done. Sit at the bench. I don't want to see your ass in front of me. Go sit by the goalie. So I was
Yeah.
sitting by John Graham. I didn't play a shift the rest of the period. I went in the locker room. He told me to get undressed. I was done. I
No
was
way.
fucking yeah. So I was kind of, what do I do? What do I? So I did get undressed the following day. I'm at home. That was game 2. I remember we're going to wash for 3 and 4. He called me early. He's like, Andre, you're not coming on the trip. I was like, why? And then we had a fuck you
No
matchup, big
way.
time, over the phone. Oh yeah, big time. And I think he liked that, but still, so he tells me basically, you're not coming on a trip. You're not going to play game 3 or 4. I don't want you to be a distraction. Work out here at the ring by yourself. You'll have the ice for you and that. It's like, what's this all about? Because I took the penalty. And
Yeah.
he's like, we'll talk when we come back. So we had a good FU matchup. Anyways, and when I came back to the room, I finally came back. I didn't really play, and then second round he puts me back in the lineup. It's just weird. He plays, it's
Mind
mind
games,
games,
right?
but then it fucks you up so bad, and he wants a reaction out of you, but sometimes it's good. Some other times it just destroys your
But I'll tell you what,
confidence. And
he
he did that
he,
with a bunch of
he
goalies I've seen.
did, but he
It's
he
just fuck.
tries to do it with the skill guys. Because when I had him, he would try to do it
Yeah,
with Gaborik. He would try to do it
yeah,
with Richards. He
oh yeah,
couldn't because they were too skilled, and they would say beat it. Like so, the only people he could do it to were the guys who he knew he had leverage with, and it was the tough
yeah,
guys. And you talk, and I always take it for like I have kids, you have kids. You look it through a lens of a father. It's like, is that how you treat your family? Like
yeah.
as a team, you're like, we're a family, we got each other's back, and it's
Exactly.
like, okay, I take one bad penalty, and now you throw me out, and now I'm
Yeah.
not around the team. And what was the reaction like from Vinny and St. Louis and these guys? Because they're older at this point. You know,
Yeah.
you got your Stanley Cup, everything. Did they shoot you a text or call you and say, hey man, like
Yeah.
this, shake it off, or
Well, I remember, what was it? Well, thing I've shared it in podcasts. The first one when in the playoffs in 02, 03 with the one with the penalty, I'm staying home. Guys are texting me, "Where are you? You're late. We're waiting." I was like,
oh
"Yeah,
no,
Torts told me to not come on the trip." The guys were kind of, "What the hell's going on?" So, and then I thought maybe, I don't know what happened there. If they talk with Torts is basically, it's my way or the highway. If
yeah,
Andre's not here, I don't want to hear about it. He's skating by himself. I don't want to hear anyone talking about
no
it. Now
questions,
let's
yeah.
get, yeah, no bitching, moaning, or ask me question about it. That's a decision I took. That's it. So guys don't really ask anything. So I basically just told the guys, yeah, he told me to stay home. So, and then the second one with Cote, guys, the following day, I guess Torts addressed the locker room. He's like, for those of you wondering, where's Andre? He played his last NHL game last night in Philly. That's what I heard from the guys.
What a
So
jerk,
Torts,
man.
yeah. So basically, Torts said, I played my last NHL game. So when I heard that, I thought it was very, very disrespectful because all year I'm fighting. I'm going to war for the team. It's not something we enjoy going throwing fists with every tough guys in the league. We know it's our role, part of our role. We're a family, but you never leave a guy behind, right? No matter what happens. But
Band,
I
bro, and
just
it's
felt like,
your livelihood.
exactly. So I just felt, oh my God, he really said that? That's disrespectful. Like, especially that he sent me home. So guys heard about me going back to Tampa. But Vinny and Louis, those guys, I guess they did tell Torts. A couple guys went in the office. The Torts said, Andre, it's okay if he doesn't play. That's your decision, but I think he still should be around the team. So Torts said, yeah, okay, he can come back, but I don't. Nothing guarantees that he'll play, and he was right. I didn't play a single game the rest of the year after that. I think it was 15, 16 games in a row,
You played
healthy
every game up
scratch.
until then.
Yeah, so Torts, I was done basically. He did say it was my last NHL game. Thank God I got another contract with the Calgary Flames my last year. So I did get to play in the NHL another year with Calgary.
Kind
But
of
you know,
shoved. Did you
I
play
was
Tampa
like,
and skate by the bench and go suck on that
yeah,
one, big boy?
Torts got fired that
Oh,
year.
good.
They got rid of. That was when the group, the cinema group came in with the Barry Melrose, and
Oh yeah.
that lasted half a year. They got sold to Mr. Vinnick after, I think. But maybe a year, yeah. But that was a gong show. I wish I could have went back to Tampa. They totally they brought in all those guys. Anyways, Melrose was there, but the new owners that supposedly had money, which they didn't. Anyways, so I signed in Calgary. Torts was no, he was far. He wasn't coaching that year, so I didn't get to play against Torts that year. He was on TV and that, I guess. So. But I did see Torts the 10-year Cup reunion, the 20th year Cup reunion, and you know I'm not gonna keep a
Yeah, no
grudge or a
grudge.
chip on my shoulder. I move on from that, but obviously it's in the back of your mind. You know, you still think of I had a 2-year contract on the table, which I kind of lost. Does that have anything to do? I still believe, yeah, maybe a little bit, because if I would have stayed with the team, played, maybe I
Yeah.
would have finished a year stronger and still fought, did well, but it didn't happen anyway. So there's stuff that's in the back of your mind, but hey, this is how it went. What do you want to do? Yeah, it pissed me off, but you got to move on about it. And Torts is a hard-nosed coach. He had a good career. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
done, but there's some stuff that I didn't agree with, but you know, it's that's how it was. What do you want to do?
Yeah, it's funny you can sit back and have regrets and what ifs. It's like, what if you don't have a good year in Fort Wayne? Comments. What like? What if
Yeah,
they're not scouting your team? You don't even get a chance in Ottawa. You played 10
exactly.
years. You won a Stanley Cup. You over 500 games. That's crazy for a guy
Yeah.
who plays your. And I know. Listen, you were the best player in midget double B.
Double A too.
Double. Oh, sorry, double A too. My goodness,
Adam,
back to.
Pee Wee, Bantam. Oh, I was a legend. Legend with the clapper. Hard clapper. Score! Andre what? Score! I wish I could have played on a second line like a Milan Lucic type, you know, like wow down the wing. Score!
Is this
Alpha
true?
Squad.
I heard this rumor that when you went to Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux pulled you aside and he's like, "I saw you when you were a kid. Can you teach me some stuff, Andre?"
Yeah, I said I could do another tape of skill like he had the magnificent Mario Lemieux. I had his tape. Hey, but funny story. You're saying you were with Minnesota with Boogie and that.
Yeah.
I had to the lockout 2005. By the way, hurt me big time because I didn't play that year except charity events. So I think that really set me back. Like the
Financially.
fighting, the skill wise, my timing, everything. Anyways, I was lucky enough. I think the fact we won the cup, then we won on the lockout a full year. I had two teams with the same contract on the table. Minnesota Wild and the Pittsburgh Penguins. I had a great conversation with Jacques Lemaire.
No
In my
kidding.
mind, I was like, I'm going to Minnesota. Boogie, I think, was there, young kid coming up or whatever. So and then I had a phone call from Mario telling me, and he's a childhood hero of mine also. Obviously, Sid was coming in as an 18-year-old. Yeah, Andre, we'd like to have you in Pittsburgh. You won the cup. Bring in a little bit of toughness. You and Bushy, Vandenbush, me, and anyways. So I came this close to signing with the Minnesota Wild, but the phone call of Mario Sid coming in, kind of, I changed my mind. Like at the last second, I was like, yeah, maybe it'll be a good thing in Pittsburgh. That's why I went and signed in Pittsburgh. I came close to playing Minnesota. Imagine me, Boogie, and then you coming up. Anyways, I don't know how that would have went, but Federock was there and Simon, those guys. They like the tough guys in Minnesota, I remember. So
I
I
had
came
no
close
idea
to,
you were that close to
yeah.
signing with the Wild. We could have
Oh,
been
yeah, yeah.
teammates. That would have been
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Imagine
Gosh,
that.
that would have been so
Big
fun.
line.
You listen. You've played with the best players on the planet, like you saw Crosby, Lemieux for a little bit in Calgary. You got a Ginla. Who was the? And then I'll let you go. A quick. Who was the most skilled guy you ever played with?
Skill wise,
Yeah,
man. Well, Sid is
Lecavier and
something else. Well, obviously Mario. Mario was at the end of his career, but you could just see when he takes the puck, his long reach,
really.
his saucer passes, top cheese, whatever. Sid was something else. I showed him all how to play the game, and look at him go this year. Nowadays, he's still 1,500 games still going. That's all me. But I gotta say, skill wise. Like that, Daniel Alfredson was something to watch in Ottawa. Like Alfie had some. We would play keep away at the end of practice. He
Yeah,
would keep the puck the longest. He was something else to see. I think like Sid too is just strong in the puck, very skilled. Iginla, LeCavalier are more like power forwards. Like they can make plays and good shots, but Marty St. Louis is to me. Marty is a great story. Just his compete level,
yeah.
the way he controlled the puck, his puck decisions. Marty was something else. I like watching Marty St. Louis. His size, he played in an era where
His
guys were
compete.
trying to,
Yeah,
oh, it's unreal. But Marty, Alfie were great, and Sid, I gotta say, those guys were fun to watch with the puck. I think it was unreal. But Iggy, LeCavalier, they're the same type, like strong. They could shoot the puck and make plays. Maybe not as skilled dishing pucks out, but
yeah.
they were impressive. But St. Louis, the plays he made, and Alfie too. Alfie, I gotta say, I know we probably didn't because they didn't never win a cup and that, but like when he took the puck, he could make plays. You'd be like, oh wow, look at that play. And Holtza was
Yeah.
a skilled player, but him it was up and down the wing, same thing. But Alfie could control a game like with the puck on the PP. But St. Louis, same thing. Unreal how he set up play. And Frederick Modine got hurt one time. Torts did play me. That's before all the drama with Torts, but he did put me on the line on the left wing with St. Louis and Brad Richards. I think I played 6, 7 games while Modine was hurt,
Oh no
and
way.
it was clicking, Johnny. It was unreal. St. Louis and Richie are
It
like
was
Andre.
clicking.
No, but it was like back in midget double A. They're like I played St. Louis in minor
Andre
hockey.
Watt.
Ask
Boom.
him.
Andre Watt. Boom.
Yeah, Marty will tell you. He'll tell you. Ask him. Andre was a skilled player in minor hockey. We played against each other. He's like, those guys were like, Andre, don't get rid of the puck. We don't want any dumpings. Make plays and keep your stick on the ice. It was unreal. I got like in 7 games, I think I had 5 points with these guys. Like I scored like 2 goals, 3 assists. It was unreal. Bang, 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 bang. I would tic tac toes. It was unreal. It's totally different with playing like guys like and no offense, but Fort Line
Oh yeah,
guys like
yeah,
where we're
yeah.
just dumping the puck and hitting, finishing checks. I got to play a little bit with these guys for like 6, 7 games, and it was awesome. I got like 5, 6 points in that span, and then Modine came back, so I cried and I was like, oh, back on the Fort Line. 4 minutes a night, but it was
How cool was it
anyways.
running into tough guys too? Because I bet you'd line up and you'd see a tough guy in the bench, like, sorry, buddy, can't fight tonight. I'm on the first line. Suck it.
Oh
That's
yeah,
got to be so
exactly.
cool.
That's the other thing because the matchups we'd play like the Matt Sundin against the Leafs, and there was no tough guys there. So in Philly, same thing, like wherever. So you're right. So I
Oh,
could see the tough guys playing against that Fort Line, like, and I was like, man,
that's
this
so
is
cool.
awesome. I'd be on the ice. There's no one out there. I just would focus finally on playing the game instead of focusing on just fighting. So, because my approach was like I'd visualize all the tough guys, and
Yeah.
that's how I would approach it. I don't know about you, but
Oh, the
maybe,
same thing. Yeah, I would lose my marbles the night before trying to think of what I do.
yeah,
But gosh, I could talk to you for years and
yeah.
it would never get old, Andre. I want to let you go. We've been at it for an hour.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it's
bizarre. This is
awesome,
by
man.
far my longest pod, and I could go. I got more to talk to you about, but
Oh
I'll
yeah,
let you
we
go.
could
But
go on that. Like you with Kessel, when you went out there, you're like, oh, I
oh.
don't need to fight. Did you tell him I'll steal your hot dogs, Phil? Or why did he get upset?
Gonna get those
And then
hot
he
dogs,
said, "No,
Philly
you're
boys."
not." And
He's like, I got you, you
starts at
bastard.
it.
Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
so funny.
exactly.
If you ever get a chance, everybody, go find Andre Waugh, charity event. He's one of the best ever, buddy. I appreciate you giving me some time. It's
Thanks,
always a
buddy.
blast hanging out with you. Hopefully I can see you soon. We can have a couple beers. But yeah,
Absolutely. Hopefully
thanks
we
for
get to
joining
do
us.
more events together. But hey,
I
Johnny, it was a
know.
pleasure, and yeah, good storytelling today. It was fun. I'll see you
Likewise.
around, and keep up the good job, buddy. We'll see you around.
Look he's ending my show. That's how much of a pro he is. He's shutting us down.
Let's go.
Look at those guts.
Go take care of the chicken.
I will. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.